We are COMMPACT, the Commerce Society of Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Management Studies, established in 2018. Our team comprises highly enthusiastic students who have a great zeal to learn and execute new skills and ideas. The purpose of the society is to create an environment for students where they can nurture and enhance their knowledge and can also showcase their talent in organizing, creative thinking, communication, content writing, pitching, and many more corporate and life skills. We are currently thriving with a team of 100 plus member, 120 plus society collaborations, and 65 plus campus ambassadors representing Team Compact. Now, moving on to today's session, it is easy for us to make certain guesses in the game of life. But, truth be told, not all these guesses are the most accurate ones. Rather, these are just mere assumptions. So, to get better at decision making and right estimations, we present to you Guesstimates, cracking it the Mckinsey way. With great delight, allow me to introduce our speaker for the session today, Mr. Amit Podar. Mr. Amit Podar is a senior regional head at Time since 2006. He graduated from Sri Venkateshwar College, Delhi University, and then pursued an MBA from the Indian Institute of Planning and Management. He has also served at a US based MNC, Primus Telecom, for 2 years and headed a Pune based company, Bullseye, for 3.5 years. He is well acquainted with corporate life, especially the marketing industry, which is why he later on shifted to education industry to share his years of learning and experiences with his mentees at Time. With a big round of applause, please welcome Mr. Amit Podar.
Thank you so much, Arham, for that lovely introduction. And yes, your society is doing a great work, it seems. So I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, thank you so much. So welcome you all to this session on guesstimates. I'm Amit Podar, and we have Mr. Gurneet Singh with us as well. So we are from Time Education. So the basic thing what we do is we guide students. I mean that's what we do. We guide students and we help them move on from wherever they are. Right? I hope you clearly understand that wherever you are today is your path, right? And we probably pitch in to help you reach your goals and destinations. So that's what our job as time as an organization is. So we train people for different entrance exams, for interviews, for GDs, so that they can get into their dream jobs. So I mean that's what you're studying, right? So today's session is on guesstimates, and the word itself tells you about guesses and estimates. As Aram rightly said, we make a lot of guesses in real life, and that's true. But then, even whatever guesses we make in real life, they are calculated in most cases, I tell you, right? So I mean, that's why we put in another word to it, and that's estimate. So guesswork and the estimation, and somewhere you put them together, take a calculated risk kind of thing, when you move on, right? So that's what it is all about. Okay, so I mean, this is a part of cases. If you look at overall, if you look at different interviews which happens at you know top companies, be it McKinsey or be it Ernst and Young or Deloitte or Bain or all these companies, when they go to different colleges, these days they want students to be a problem solver. I mean, that's how it is. It's more about being a problem solver and thereby being a decision maker. I mean, that's what our jobs ultimately becomes. If you think on it, my dear students, है कि नहीं? अभी आप कुछ भी कर रहे हो, पढ़ाई कर रहे हो, you're studying hard in your college, and someday you'll pass from your college, of course. भाई 3 साल के बाद रहते हैं हम कॉलेज में normally for the graduation, normally, right? Some people may take more years, right? That's a different issue. कुछ लोगों को कॉलेज पसंद आ जाती है ना, तो वो रह जाते हैं कॉलेज में, राइट? 1 आध साल और एक्स्ट्रा. Okay. So the point is, at the end of it, when you have reached college, of course, there is certain goals. There are certain goals in mind. कि अभी यहाँ से कैसे उस goals तक पहुँचे. Or I would say it's time to get the fruits of all your hard work. सीधी बात तो ये बोलूँगा. You've been working so hard for last so many years, from your school days to college days. I don't know how many number of years you've been studying. I mean, how many years would it be around? I think 16 years almost. If I add those, play school and nursery and KG and all the classes. So 10 plus 2, 12, and then 2 more years, 14. Yes, around 16, 17 years. So 16, 17 years, you have been in a process. Please understand that. And that process was to help you understand yourself, get the experiences of life, tackle situations, tackle issues, problems, whatever comes across. यही बात थी. पर इतने साल तक आपको 8-10 घंटे किसी एक जगह पर फंसा के रखा गया है. Did you notice that? 8 to 10 hours almost in college, school. सोसाइटी ने हमें बांध के रखा है कि भाई जाओ वहां पर पढ़ाई करो या जो भी करो, कैंटीन में बैठो या whatever, right? See, it's not that we only learn in the classroom. ऐसा नहीं है. We learn more outside the classroom. अगर मैं सीधा बोलूं तो तुमको, तुम्हारी जो पर्सनालिटी है is based on everything, all the experiences of your college. ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते खाली पढ़ाई करने तुम कॉलेज जाते हो. I mean, nobody would, or none of you would agree to this. बताओ, would you agree to me? Do you go to college only to study? Anybody who wish to raise their hand कि हाँ भाई मैं तो खाली पढ़ने जाता हूँ कॉलेज और कुछ नहीं करना मुझे. Of course, we participate in events. अभी Aram was talking about the society and all those activities you do. Of course, it's a society wherein people work. So kind of an extracurricular. या फिर और भी बहुत सारी सोसाइटीज है तुम्हारे कॉलेज, I'm sure. तो बात वही हो जाती है, अपने आप को डेवलप करना है, अपने आप को मेंटली स्ट्रांग बनाना है, फिजिकली भी स्ट्रांग बनाना है, so that you can be of some value to the company you work for. Asset, like an asset rather than a liability. तो वहां पर हमारे पास कुछ डेटा होता है, उस डेटा के बेसिस पर व्हाट वी डू इज वी ट्राई टू एस्टिमेट कि भाई इतना है तो इसके बाद क्या होगा. इंग्लिश में इसको हम लोग इन्फरेंस भी बोलते हैं. बहुत बार इन्फर करते हैं. कुछ हमारे पास मान लो डेटा है तो उससे हम लोग इन्फरेंस निकालते हैं. तो ये बहुत सिंपल वर्ड है इन्फरेंस, बट देन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट भी है लाइफ में भी. कुछ भी सामने हो रहा है तुमको उसको समझो और उसके बाद और अंदाजा लगाओ, अच्छा ये होगा ऐसा करके. बट इसको वाइल्ड गेस नहीं बोलते. वी डोंट कॉल इट वाइल्ड गेस. इसको बोलते हैं हम गेस्टिमेट. इन्फर फ्रॉम द डेटा, इन्फर फ्रॉम द फैक्ट्स गिवन टू यू. ऐसा होता है, राइट? एंड आई होप ये तुमको जोक समझ में आ गया. ऊपर जो डिड यू सी दिस? द स्क्रीन इज विजिबल, राइट? एनीबॉडी कैन गिव मी अ यस और नो?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. So I'm sure most of you must have understood this joke, kind of. Yeah, I need a budget estimate for my project, but I don't have. So this person says, भाई मुझे पता ही नहीं कि क्या स्कोप है मेरे बजट, मेरे प्रोजेक्ट का डिजाइन वगैरह कुछ पता ही नहीं. So he doesn't know anything, and based on that anything, let me not call it anything, nothing. The second person here, if you can see it, ये भाई साहब, इन्होंने बोल दिया भाई तुम्हारा इतना खर्चा आएगा, डॉलर में बता दिया, बताओ. एंड देन द फर्स्ट पर्सन सेज भाई यू डोंट नो एनीथिंग, बट भाई तुम्हें मेरे प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में पता ही नहीं है, यू आर सेइंग इतना डॉलर खर्चा हो जाएगा. हाउ डू यू नो दैट, राइट? सो ऑफ कोर्स, एंड दैट्स अ विटी रिप्लाई ओवर हियर. इफ यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड द ह्यूमर हियर, ही सेज दैट मेक्स टू ऑफ अस. भाई ना तुमको पता है ना मुझको पता है, ऐसी एस्टिमेट दे दिया. सो दिस इज नॉट गेस्टिमेट. This is a wild estimate. Wild estimate, ऐसा बोलते हैं, right? So, in the corporate world, in our real life, हम लोग कुछ sense के बाद ही कुछ estimation करते हैं, and that's what guesstimates are all about. And these days interviews में ये लोग आपसे पूछते हैं questions कि ऐसी प्रॉब्लम होगी तो कैसे सॉल्व करोगे, ये सिचुएशन होगा तो कितना इसका आउटपुट होगा, and things like that. Just to judge you as a person, just to see you कि भाई आपने इतने साल में अपने आप को कैसे बिल्ड करा है. As a human being, as a person, as a personality, right? तो ये पर्पस है उनका तुम्हारे इंटरव्यू में ऐसे क्वेश्चंस पूछने का. और कभी कभी वो जीडी करा देते हैं केसेस के ऊपर. एक सिचुएशन दे देंगे and they'll ask you to do a GD on it. अब आप उस सिचुएशन को समझो and then you discuss on it. So ये दो लेवल पर केसेस हो रहे हैं इसके लिए. एक तो तुम्हारे इंटरव्यू के टाइम पर, दूसरा जीडी के टाइम पर ड्यूरिंग रिक्रूटमेंट्स हो रहा है. प्लस दिस आल्सो हैपेंस इन बी स्कूल्स प्रोसेस. जीडीपीआई प्रोसेस होता है बी स्कूल्स में, वहां हो रहा है. आईएएस के इंटरव्यू में बहुत बार वो ऐसे क्वेश्चंस पूछ लेते हैं. आईएएस के इंटरव्यू में कि भाई अगर ऐसी प्रॉब्लम है आपके स्टेट में, आपके शहर में, पानी की प्रॉब्लम है या डैम बन रही है वहाँ पर, तो डैम बनने से देयर विल बी लॉट ऑफ रीलोकेशन, people are not letting you build the dam, farmers are not ready to sell their land, but you need to build a dam over there. Why? Because पानी की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगी उससे, ऐसा करके केस दे देगा। एंड देन बेस्ड ऑन द होल सिचुएशन दे विल आस्क यू, बताओ अभी तुम क्या करोगे, यू आर द डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर, अभी क्या करोगे तुम, ऐसा करके। सो सी, हमें पहले पूरा केस का फैक्ट समझना होता है टू मूव ऑन, एंड देन उसके बाद हम उसका एक प्रोसेस बताते हैं, राइट? सो दैट्स हाउ these guesstimates or probably case based इंटरव्यूज और जीडीज आर हेल्ड। पर्पस आई एम श्योर तुमको क्लियर हो गया। ये चीजें तुम्हें इंटरव्यूज जीडी में तो फेस करना ही है, बट ऑफ कोर्स यू आल्सो फेस दिस इन योर लाइफ। आगे जिंदगी में भी तो इशू होता है ना, सुबह उठते हैं भाई कॉलेज जाना है मुझे, कैसे जाऊं, बस से जाऊं, कार से जाऊं, दोस्त के साथ जाऊं, कैसे जाऊं, ये भी तो एक सिचुएशन ही है। फिर तुम खर्चा सोचते हो, यार ऐसे जाऊंगा इतना खर्चा होगा, ऐसे जाऊंगा इतना खर्चा होगा, इतना बच जाएगा, सब नहीं दैट्स सो विच मींस बेस्ड ऑन ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन विच यू हैव आप डिसाइड करते हो, चलो भाई मेट्रो सस्ता है, अच्छा भी है, ट्रैफिक भी नहीं फंसेगी, पैसे भी कम खर्च होंगे और लोग भी मिलेंगे देखने के लिए एकदम, मेट्रो में बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं काइंड ऑफ, राइट? सो ऐसा कुछ, सो रियल लाइफ में भी इसका इंपॉर्टेंस है, एंड दैट्स हाउ इट इज। सो एट द एंड ऑफ इट देखो, ये तुम्हारी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स ही टेस्ट कर रहे हैं, दे लुकिंग एट योर प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स। आई मीन इनफैक्ट मैथ्स के सवाल को भी तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग बोलते हैं, अगर आपको पता है तो। सो वो भी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग है, मैथ्स को घर करके भी हम डिसीजन मेकिंग कर रहे हैं, एक तरह से बहुत कनेक्टेड है प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग रियल लाइफ सिचुएशन से। बहुत बार हमें लगता है यार लॉगरिथम कहाँ यूज करेंगे, ट्रिग्नोमेट्री किधर यूज होगा, ऐसा बोलते हैं हम लोग, बट देन बहुत केसेस में ऑफ कोर्स एट द एंड ऑफ इट यू आर सॉल्विंग अ प्रॉब्लम बेस्ड ऑन सम डेटा एंड सिचुएशन। सो रियल लाइफ में ऐसे ही करते हैं हम लोग, डेटा सिचुएशन फैक्ट्स होता है, हम प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते हैं। सो दैट्स हाउ यू कैन कनेक्ट थिंग्स टू रियल लाइफ, राइट? तो ये एबिलिटीज आपके अंदर वो चेक कर रहे हैं, सो दे आर लुकिंग एट these abilities of yours. I hope that part is clear. Purpose क्या है आपको थोड़ा क्लियर हो गया। अभी I would like some of you to also kind of answer something when I ask you. You can unmute yourself and speak. That should not be a problem. तो एक बार मैं थोड़ा केस देता हूँ अभी यहाँ पर। I would like you to come up with some solution. अभी अरम ने बोला assumption की बात करी, I heard him. So he talked of assumption. लेट अस सी कि भाई assumption होता क्या है, और इस केस में हम लोग बात करेंगे वैलिड assumption, जस्ट नॉट assumption बट वैलिड assumption। अभी वैलिड assumption क्या है, से एक केस बताता हूँ, अगर इफ यू आर लिसनिंग थोड़ा ध्यान से अगर सुन सकते हो तो। और बाकी अभी गेस्टिमेट वाले क्वेश्चंस और भी आगे हैं, जिसपे आई वुड लाइक योर ओपिनियन, योर व्यू पॉइंट्स, योर थॉट प्रोसेस, दैट्स हाउ इट विल हेल्प यू थिंक मोर, थिंक बेटर, थिंक डिफरेंट। सो केस है छोटा सा यहाँ पर। So this case is about a train which is a speeding train supposed to come on this track number 1। ट्रेन की फोटो बनाया तो मैं थोड़ा कोशिश करूँ, ट्रेन लग तो नहीं रहा बट जो भी है ठीक है। So the train is coming on this track, right? And there is another track, track number 2, and this is unused track, इसको यूज में नहीं है, unused। So I'm writing on the screen, I hope you can see that। So we have 2 tracks, track number 1, track number 2। track number 1 पे एक ट्रेन आ रही है और इस ट्रैक पे 3-4 बच्चे खेल रहे, जिस ट्रैक पे ट्रेन आ रही है, and you are standing just here, when the train is entering this track or wherever। So you're standing here, if you can see the photo, the figure।
Sir, your screen is not visible.
Okay, is it not?
No, sir.
Okay, I think somebody said it was visible earlier। So what you can see nothing, or is it the first slide?
Sir, we can
we
only
can
see the
first
PPT.
slide.
Only the first slide, which was there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's not moving, which means okay. Let me share the screen there. Okay, thanks for the input। Just a second।
Sir, it's on second slide now.
Okay, is it on the second slide? Was it on the second slide earlier?
Yes, it turn to second.
So when after we had a discussion just
Yes.
now.
Yes, sir.
Acha, oh, I think some issue. Okay, I'll share the whole screen. I think that'll be better. I think this will work. Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Let me do the slideshow if it works. And so you can see that question wherein there are two tracks.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just changing the screen. So has it changed now? The screen changed now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Great, now it's working. Okay, good enough. So okay, so I was talking of this situation. I mean, and the idea was to understand what is a valid assumption. ये समझने वाली बात है यहाँ पर कि भाई valid assumption क्या होता है. So that is what was the point of concern over here. So the train is coming on this track. There are 3-4 kids playing over here, and you are here, standing somewhere here. If you can see the figure, and there is a interchange over here. There is a interchange system. If you push it, the train goes in a different direction to the next track. ट्रैक नंबर 2 पे चला जाएगा. ऐसा है. अभी 1 पे आ रहा है और अभी थोड़ी देर में 2 पे चला जाएगा अगर आप इंटरचेंज वाला को पुश कर दोगे. So now you have a fraction of second or maybe a few seconds to decide what to be done. Because if you don't decide, the train will go straight. And if you change it, it will go to the next track. You as an individual, given the situation, given the time pressure and the stress level, whatever it is, what should you do and why? So anybody who can unmute and speak on it, what should you do and why?
Sir, do we have the option to hit the brakes of the train?
See, you are not inside the train. You are outside the train. That has to be very clear. So inside the train, you have a driver and you can assume anything. The valid assumption can be that whatever the driver sees it and applies the brake. But the point is, it's a speeding train and it is going straight. And if you expect the driver hits the brake, and what if he doesn't? So the point is, the idea is not to give a solution to it. The idea is to think of some assumption and then come up with a process. That if this happens, then that will happen. If that happens, then this will happen. So something like that. So yes, you can come up with your answer. Please, Arham, if you wish to answer.
Sir, I am taking the assumption that if we have the power to change track of the train, we might have some way to communicate with the driver inside. So we can, tell him the situation beforehand and give him some time to apply the brakes, or maybe even tell him that we are changing the course of the train. So you need to be careful. Because if the train changes the track at a high speed, there is a whole lot of chance that it may collide or it may leave the track altogether. So I think the best way to is to communicate beforehand.
Okay. See, after communication, what would you do? After communicating with him, what would you do?
So it depends on the communication. For example, I have communicated that we'll be changing the course of the train. So you need to slow down to a certain limit. And
Okay.
after I have communicated, I will, link the intersection to the track 2.
And then the train will go in that
Then
direction.
the train will go in that direction.
Great. So let's see. So which means Arham ne assume kiya ek do baatein. One, he assumed that he has some system wherein he can talk to the driver inside the train, which I would slightly say that is a far-fetched kind of assumption. Not a very valid, but okay, that is taken into account. That you have some system wherein like you can talk. See, you as an individual who is outside the train can communicate with the person inside the train in that fraction of second. Slightly difficult, I would say. It will be slightly difficult. So that is one. But then one can assume that. Okay. Any other thing? Anybody's mind? और क्या कर सकते हैं? Harshita, if you can just.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Harshita, you're audible.
So I would assume that the unused track is repaired, and
Mm-hmm.
in case I diverge the train to another like path or track, then it won't an accident won't occur, so that the passengers don't suffer.
Okay. No, but what would that one? There is one child here on this track also. Track number one. Oh, sorry, track
Okay.
number two. There's one child over here. The three, four here on the second one, but then, oh, sorry, on the first one, but on the second one also, you have one.
Right. So instead of letting the train go on the same path, I would definitely diverge it and then communicate to the that child, the one
Ha,
standing on the
ha.
second.
See, you are standing over here. Train is coming. It's a speeding train, and
Right.
it'll go fast. So how do you communicate with that child who is very far from you? By shouting, maybe, probably.
Yeah, because since if this distance, like the one shown in the figure, is
Normal distance, as in you can assume in
yeah,
real
and
life.
if that communication can happen, then I will do that.
Okay. But then in that case, you're also assuming that your voice or your, whatever, when you shout, is, more than the sound of the train, because the train would come and there'll be definitely a lot of noise.
Right. Yeah,
So
that's an
that
assumption.
that is also an assumption. You're assuming that your voice should be higher than the sound of the train, and that looks slightly difficult, I would say. I mean, to be honest, I mean, because you know the kind of noise a train has, when it comes to the station or anywhere when it passes. So, okay. So your assumption is that that track, though it is unused, it is repaired.
Yes, that's
That way, just okay. Let's see, and and anybody else has it? Okay, Mr. Swapnil, if you can just pitch in.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Sir, am I audible?
Ah,
So, sir, I will assume that the second track is not repaired and cannot be used. In order to save the lives of more people, I will let the train go in the track one itself. That's my assumption or my thinking to the problem given. Also, if possible, I would like to communicate to the children on the track when and ask them to leave the track because I believe they are in their senses or in their ability of mind
the
because they are
plane.
playing on the track. So that is my assumption or my solution to the problem given by you.
Okay. So which means you let the train go straight, and you'll also shout at these children, these three children, and you'll
Yes.
shout at them, and you'll let them, come out of the train. So which means you
Yes.
also you also assume that your voice should be louder than the noise of the train. That is again
Sir,
your assumption.
like we will be assuming that the distance between the train, children's, and the person standing is nominal. So, given the fact that the train is nowadays the trains are making less noise, so I believe that yes, I will be
Okay.
able to communicate with them. And sir, as I mentioned, I will be assuming that the second track cannot be used. So, in order to save the lives of more people, it is better to, give up the life of few people. So that's why.
Okay. So more people. Okay. Again. So which means you're assuming that this train is a passenger train, right? This is what
Yes,
you're
yes,
assuming. Good.
yes,
So see, okay, so that was good enough. Which means, see, people are assuming a lot of things, and that is allowed in a discussion. But then, my dear students, you have to be very clear. Your assumption should be valid in terms of logical. Logical, as in, see, here it is clearly stated it is an unused track. So probably I'll assume something based on the unused track. क्या ये unused है? इसका मतलब कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है, यूज में नहीं है, तो ज्यादा चांसेस क्या है दैट द ट्रैक मे नॉट बी इन अ राइट शेप, कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगी, कुछ काम चल रहा होगा या कोई ऐसा होगा, तो हम इस तरह के assumption ले सकते हैं rather than assuming the contrary, एकदम उल्टा कि अनयूज्ड है फिर भी रिपेयर्ड है. आई होप यू गेट माय पॉइंट. यानी कि हमारा एक वैलिड assumption वाला एंगल जो होता है वो फैक्ट्स के साथ चलेगा. ओके. हाँ, ये हम assume कर सकते हैं कि अगर वो ट्रैक टूटी हुई है उस पर अगर ट्रेन को भेज देंगे तो मोर पीपल विल डाई. व्हाई? बिकॉज दिस ट्रेन विल हैव पीपल, राइट? एंड व्हाट इफ इट्स अ पैसेंजर ट्रेन, देयर विल बी मोर पीपल. So changing the track will again create a problem. Okay, that's a good way of looking at it. Okay. Now, if the train goes on the same track, chances are very high that the driver will see these children right in front of him. The driver may push the horn also. Chances are very high. If not the brakes, because a speeding train normally do not put a brake. Why? Because if it hits the brake very hard, the whole train may derail. That's again a chance. So they are advised कि भाई आप चला दो, ऐसा एडवाइस करते हैं, बिकॉज ये तो ज़्यादा लोगों को नुकसान हो. So, which means, of course, the driver may push the horn. The children, they are likely to listen to the horn because खेल रहे हैं, but आवाज तो आएगी, शोर तो होगा. ट्रेन की आवाज बहुत ज्यादा होती है. Chances are ये सब भाग जाएंगे. Chances are, I'm saying, there's no perfect solution to anything. Now, another thing, if I put the train in the second track, now we are risking the life of this lone child who is not at fault. Mind you, my dear students, ethics. एक ऐसे इंसान को जिसकी गलती बिल्कुल नहीं है या कम है, उसको हम पनिश नहीं करेंगे जस्ट बिकॉज वो एक है. सो यहाँ चाइल्ड एक सिंबल है, बच्चा नहीं है. बच्चा 40 साल 14 ईयर 15 ईयर्स का भी हो सकता है. सो एक चाइल्ड एक सिंबल है कि शुड वी पनिश समबडी हु इज नॉट एट फॉल्ट जस्ट बिकॉज दैट्स द नंबर इज लो, और शुड वी बी एथिकल ओवर हियर? दैट्स अनदर पॉइंट. Second, this child is a lone child, must be very engaged, busy, and would be surprised if you push the train in that direction. Because the child is not expecting a train here. Train तो आती नहीं यहाँ पर. अचानक आ जाएगी तो भाग नहीं पाएगा ये. लेकिन ये 3 बच्चा है, उसको पता है ट्रेन आती जाती रहती है. ये मैं assume कर रहा हूँ, क्योंकि ट्रेन उसी पर आती जाती रहती है. और वो क्या पता, यही उनका गेम है. This is the game. ट्रेन आती है तो भाग जाते हैं. ट्रेन चली जाती है फिर खेलने लगते हैं. Right? So see, these are all assumptions, right? Which means we'll talk on ethics, we'll talk on practicality कि ट्रेन को मैन्यूज पे नहीं भेजेंगे. और तीसरी बात, कॉर्पोरेट में होता है अथॉरिटी. अथॉरिटी का मतलब होता है am I authorized? Am I authorized? I'm an outsider. भाई अंदर सिस्टम में क्या है, कैसे चेंज हो रहा है, मुझे पता नहीं है. बस मैंने एक ट्रैक चेंजर देखा, ट्रेन को आते हुए देखा और उसको मैंने चेंज कर दिया बिना कुछ सोचे. See, the point is, I am also not an authority to change the track without the decision of the railway department or anybody. तो मेरी अथॉरिटी में तो नहीं है. तो अथॉरिटी नहीं है, चेंज कर दूंगा तो एथिक्स के खिलाफ जाएगा. चेंज नहीं करूंगा, I can save everybody's life, right? So that's where, based on all these valid assumptions, we can take a decision. अच्छा हाँ, so this should be a better decision in this situation, that let the train go. And my dear friends, even if you don't take any decision, that's also taking a decision. You get the point? आपने डिसीजन नहीं लिया, फिर भी डिसीजन लिया कि मुझे कुछ नहीं करना भाई, जाने दो ट्रेन. बच्चे भाग जाएंगे या ड्राइवर देखेगा, हॉर्न बजाएगा, भाग जाएंगे सब. I hope you get the fundamental of problem solving as well, something about valid assumption, and based on that you can come up with if this, then that, if that, then this. ऐसे करना होगा, क्योंकि एस्टिमेशन की बात हो रही है, पक्का तुम्हें पता नहीं है ना, जितना पता वो लिखा है सामने. So basically, right? So any other inputs anybody has on this? Okay, nothing else. Great. So अब similarly अभी कॉर्पोरेट का छोटा सा केस लेते हैं, फिर हम थोड़े गेस्टिमेट वाले क्वेश्चन देख लेंगे. So that's the point. Look at a simple case over here. Now this is called decision making. So you have to take a decision, and this is the case in front of you. Can you just tell me what should be the best answer? A, B, C, or D? आपको सर आपको बेस्ट आंसर बताना है. So, what is it? A, B, C, D. What should be your answer? Anybody say something?
Sir, can you present? Okay.
Okay, so which one? Option C, not pay attention to allegations. Not pay attention. Looks good. Should be good enough. B will close it. So B or C, these are the close. No, B no, B. In fact, A and C looks close.
सही सब
Okay. So A or C looks to be a good answer. Let's see, you are an officer in charge as the case. And right now it's an emergency situation, not a situation, which means it's an urgent situation. You cannot just stop the work. And you're doing your best. You're doing your best. See, it's an urgent situation, you're doing your best. ये दो बातें केस में होगी also fact मतलब सही है केस ना दूसरे लोग आए you are like me of the fact. See, these are allegations. Allegations make sense. But I'm doing the best. That's what the case is. So I'll not ask my senior or another person. I will not do this. Because I'm doing my best and somebody, if somebody else comes, somebody else comes, it takes some time. And this is nothing which I do work. I cannot stop at taking anything. So I'm left with either I'll ask somebody to do very well allegations, or I'll pay attention to these allegations. Now, inquiry can ask me. So inquiry is not under my control. The question is what you do. So it's not my control to let inquiry send against me. I will inquire. तो सबसे अच्छा साइंस सिचुएशन होगा भाई मैं काम कर रहा हूँ अपना अर्जेंट काम है मैं इनको सुनूंगा नहीं काम करता हूँ आपको आपको बात अच्छे से so see is the best way of tackling this situation. Best the second best way and भाई सी के पास है ऐसा you get the point. So that way looking at the situation they are coming to right. So I'll show you different slide now. So yeah. What we made in my mind is that is about the one using a bigger views. And of course, I was basis. So what's the message in my comments? This is a level awareness. This is awareness. Commercial awareness. And I don't know what that means. Confused situations. So for that, you need different magazines, newspapers, and so many tweets cases, different magazines, and daily newspapers. So this work has to go on. Without which, I'll not somebody who with a rational mind like mine. They are not looking at the solution. Not looking at your solution. They are looking at the process. Mind. आप क्या process उनको बता रहे हो वो ले रहे हैं. They are not interested much in your mind. तो हम लोग कोई तरीका बताओ. अपने assumptions बताओ. ये होगा तो होगा ऐसा बताओ. एक रास्ता बताओ. That is what they are interested. The more parameters we bring in, the more marks you get. एकदम ध्यान रखना इसमें. बड़े प्रॉब्लम देते हैं तो सॉल्व करने के लिए 10 मिनट थोड़ी करते हैं कैसे करोगे? अब सॉल्व करने 10 मिनट्स यार कैसे कर लेंगे? बोलते हैं इंडिया पाकिस्तान के बीच में प्लेट बार बार है इसको सॉल्व करो. मैं 50 साल नहीं कर पाया मैं कैसे कर लूं? ये पूरा बोलना मत तुमको फॉर see the idea is it's not actually solving it. It's about what thoughts you bring forth, bring on the table. ये ध्यान रखना है याद रखना and help a lot. आपका टेम्परेचर कम हो जाए. ठीक है, अप्रोच और स्ट्रक्चर पे ध्यान देना है व्हाइल आंसरिंग. थोड़ा assumption you make करोगे फैक्ट के हिसाब से make करोगे, right? Don't fall in the traps. Ask right questions. ये बहुत जरूरी होता है. Ask right questions to them. अगर मान लो कोई इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं दे रहे हो तुमको ask right questions. ये होगा क्या? So you can tell me this problem is only a rural area or urban area. ऐसा अगर आपसे कुछ पूछ रहे हो उसको, you ask right questions. Logical flow of things. Second very question. ठीक है, अब देखो किस तरह का एस्टिमेशन होता है. हमारे कुछ रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल्स हैं, कुछ रिपेयर वगैरह होता था ब्रेन में और दूसरे कॉलेजेस में, सॉरी दूसरे कंपनी में आईएम में पूछते हैं. एक जो इंटरव्यूज होते हैं उसमें कौन बहुत आईएएस के इंटरव्यू पूछते हैं. बस ये एक लॉजिकल थॉट होना चाहिए. थोड़ा कुछ केसेस देख लेते हैं. बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है ना. लुक एट इट. मेरे बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है ये वाला. The first three industries that can be profitably set up on the moon. Tell me. बोलो भाई क्या सोचोगे? तो सीधा सॉल्यूशन नहीं बताएंगे, हम थोड़ा डिस्कस करेंगे क्या कुछ जरूरत पड़ती होती है वहाँ पर जब लाइफ if it starts over there. So what all things we will need over there? That's the one.
Oxygen tanks.
Come again?
Oxygen tanks.
Oxygen tanks, of course, because of oxygen coming. That business will definitely thrive over there. So good enough. कोविड के टाइम पे भी भाई यहाँ इंडिया में ऑक्सीजन वाले सिलेंडर्स बड़े बिके थे. I'm sure you're aware of this. ठीक है, that is one industry. And what else? The rental real estate design. Food, of course. The soil conditions may not be really good, so food industry will really be something which means अब जैसे आप लोग फूड ऑक्सीजन बोल रहे हो, यानी कि बेसिक बात है. पता है क्या बोल रहे हो? आप बोल रहे हो सर्वाइवल. ये बोल रहे हो. तो हमें यहाँ से शुरू करना है. और प्रॉब्लम बताइए कि if you go to moon, depending on the environmental conditions, we'll start with something which helps the survival of the human race. ऐसे बोला हमको. फिर हम एग्जांपल्स देंगे. We'll talk of gravity. We'll talk of food. We'll talk of oxygen. We'll talk about these things. Basic needs तो बोलते हैं. जो मैस्लो थ्योरी के बिल्कुल नीचे आती है. बेसिक फिजियोलॉजिकल नीड्स बोलते हैं. वैसा रोटी कपड़ा मकान ऐसा. क्योंकि वहां पर अगर हम इंटरनेट लगाएंगे या फिर और चीजें लगाएंगे वो बाद में आएगा. या फिर वहां पर आप शॉपिंग मॉल्स वो सब खोलोगे वो बात की बात. बट शुरू में सर्वाइवल वाले. तो विच मीन्स यू हैव टू प्रायोरिटाइज. प्रायोरिटाइजेशन बहुत जरूरी है. ये नीड्स हैं 10, इनमें से सबसे पहले ये, सेकंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ. दैट्स व्हाट दे चेक इन यू व्हेन दे आस्क यू दीस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. ठीक है, तो योर आंसर इज फाइन, but then we need to start from a background and then come to this, right? Okay, this looks interesting, the first one, and let me ask you the process. Approach बताओ, आपकी calculation का approach बताओ. In fact, I need your calculation also. You need to tell me the number, of course. Number. So give me the number also at the end of it. एक नंबर ही बताना होगा भाई. इतने होंगे करीब अंदाजा. बता सकते हो कितनी व्हाइट कार से दिल्ली में? अच्छा कैसे बताएंगे? ऑफ कोर्स किसी को नहीं पता है. मुझे भी नहीं पता, किसी को नहीं पता, कंपनी वालों को भी नहीं पता होगा, गूगल को भी नहीं पता. सो अप्रोच बताओ. टेल मी द अप्रोच. तुम्हारे इंटरव्यू में ये तुम्हारा अप्रोच, तुम्हारा माइंड्स. हाँ प्लीज.
Sir, I can give a try.
प्लीज.
Yeah, so sir, before starting with this, can you tell me the average industry size, like how many cars are present in Delhi?
See, if somebody tells you that, so you can easily give a 20-30% of that.
Okay.
So you're asking me the answer actually. So you cannot ask me the answer, right? So you'll have to go by some data which is there on your mind, but then that should not be the first thought which should come to your mind. Like how many cars?
So, sir, we'll divide the population segment into three parts:
Okay.
lower income group, middle income group, and the higher income group. So,
Mm-hmm.
for the lower income group, we consider that they won't be having cars.
Mm-hmm.
For the middle income group, we'll consider that they'll be having on an average of two cars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good enough. So
And
see,
for the high income group, we'll be considering that these guys will be having an average of four cars.
great. So
For
let's
the
assume that
ultra
let's
affluent.
let's assume that there are 2 crore people in Delhi. So now can you segment it? How many in lower? How many in upper? So give me some figure.
For the income groups.
Because 2 crore people in Delhi. I want the number at the end of it. So 2 crore people in Delhi, and now you can divide.
Okay, 2 crore people.
Hmm.
Sure. So, sir, taking an assumption that most of the population in Delhi is for the middle class, so we'll consider that around 1 crore people in Delhi are for the middle class. Middle
Okay.
class.
Okay.
Around 60 lakhs people, no, 70 lakh are in the lower income group,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest 30 lakh fall in the high net worth individual group.
Okay.
So,
So
considering that the average family size is for four people in Delhi and two cars per household for the middle income group and four cars per household in the uh, high income group.
okay.
So
Good
that gives
enough.
us approximately 25 lakh households in the middle income group
Mm-hmm.
and 7.5 lakh households in the high income group.
Okay. So that is 32.5 lakhs.
Yeah, 32.5 lakh.
So these, so, and then you said high income group would buy 3 to 4 cars. So you have to multiply that by four.
Yes, on an average. No. Sir, in this, we'll further classify that we will take an assumption that the number of cars in Delhi are classified under four major colors: white, silver, black, and gray. And the probability of choosing a white car is 1 by 4.
So around 25%.
Yeah, 25%.
25%. Okay, so I would agree
So,
to most of your parameters. Very good.
So in the middle household, sir, we'll be having two cars per household and 25 lakh households. So we'll be having 50 lakhs and we'll take 1 by 4 of that. That gives us somewhere around
12.5.
12.5 lakh white cars.
Hmm.
And for the high income group, we have 7.5 lakh cars and we'll take 25% of that. We have around 1.85.
Okay. And see, so which means you're also assuming that none of the family in Delhi will have 1 car,
Yeah.
which may not be very correct assumption, right?
Sir, I have no. I'll come to that point later.
That's all.
So, for the middle income group, I have got 12.5, and for the high income group, I have got 1.85. So, for ease of access, let's take high income group as 2 lakhs. So, ultimately, we'll be getting 14.5. So, now out of that, we'll be getting I'll be considering 50-50 percentage that some people, some households do not prefer white cars.
Hmm.
Okay, so 50% chance is that they are not preferring white cars. 50% chance is uh okay, let's take it that way. Uh, one third people do not prefer white cars. One third people have only white cars, and one third prefer both the white cars.
ठीक है, good enough. I got your process. I got your process. ठीक है, thank you so much. So yes, I think he was Dharmendra. I think Dharmendra is the name. So he was on the right track because see the kind of parameters he took was really commendable. You're talking of three income groups. There can be four also. Higher middle class, and lower middle class, kind of that also. And that may bring us to that some of them will buy bikes or maybe cycles or scooters or whatever, and they may not buy cars because they cannot afford it. Kind of. Some families may have 1 car, and this some higher middle class income group will have 2 cars. Maybe the uh, top strata of Delhi, maybe 10, 20 lakh people may have 3 to 4 cars also. So that ways. So plus we need to also keep in mind the family. I mean, it should not be only based on population, but the family size also, 4 to 5 members per family. So kind of a family car and things like that. So good enough. So which means this is how you approach these kind of questions. Rather than simply coming to, okay, it should be 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते. They're not interested in your answer. They're interested in the approach and the process, which again was rightly done. So these are some examples over here wherein you can look at different types of questions which have been asked in different at different places. अब देखो एक क्वेश्चन है पूछ रहे हैं कितने टेनिस बॉल बिकते हैं मान लो. अब अगर मान लो आप टेनिस बॉल का एस्टिमेशन निकाल रहे हो and you only keep in mind table tennis for example and lawn tennis, then probably you'd be wrong. क्योंकि सिर्फ लॉन टेनिस और टेबल टेनिस में टेनिस बॉल नहीं यूज होता है. टेनिस बॉल तो टेबल टेनिस की बॉल की बोलते छोटा वाला, और लॉन टेनिस का बॉल तो पता है तुमको. lot of times this lawn tennis ball is used for cricket also. तो आपको बात करते वक्त you have to also come up with this parameter कि भाई बहुत लोग टेनिस बॉल से क्रिकेट तो खेलते हैं, इनफैक्ट ज्यादा लोग खेलते हैं. इंडिया में लोग टेनिस बॉल से टेनिस कम और क्रिकेट ज्यादा खेलते हैं, आपको पता ही है. सो दोस काइंड ऑफ पैरामीटर यू नीड टू कम अप विद, तब आपका वो लॉजिक सही जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं, राइट? स्ट्रीट्स, कितनी स्ट्रीट्स है दिल्ली में ये बताना पड़ेगा. ये बताने के लिए कितने स्ट्रीट लाइट्स हैं तो बताना पड़ेगा. इतने रोड्स हैं हमारे. एक तो भाई जो सर्कल है, इनर सर्कल, आउटर रिंग रोड, इनर रिंग रोड है. तो जो आउटर रिंग रोड है उसकी लेंथ कितनी है? इनर वाली की तो 60 किलोमीटर है, आई थिंक 60 किलोमीटर. उसकी कितनी लेंथ है? और कितने प्रोमिनेंट रोड्स हैं, कितने स्ट्रीट्स हैं, दो लाइट्स के बीच में डिस्टेंस नॉर्मली कितना मीटर का होता है? यू गेट द पॉइंट? बिकॉज नोबडी वुड नो द एग्जैक्ट नंबर. द पॉइंट इज आप कितने पैरामीटर लेकर आते हो जहां पर आपको मार्क्स मिल रहे हैं. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ एबिलिटी दे सी इन यू एंड दे से वाओ यार, ये तो मेरे कंपनी में आएगा, ही विल बी अ गुड टीम प्लेयर. He or she will be able to solve the problem so easily, or probably be a part of it and try to guide the company in the right direction. कितनी प्रोडक्शन करें हम अगले साल कि जो बढ़ती डिमांड है उसको पूरा कर जाए, वेस्टेज ना हो. ऐसी फोरकास्टिंग करते हैं मैनेजर्स. आई होप यू नो दिस. बहुत सारे जो टॉप बिजनेस लीडर्स हैं वो विजनरी होते हैं. उनको 10 साल बाद का भी डिमांड पता होता है. इन अ वे बिल गेट्स वुड हैव नोन कि कैसे टेक्नोलॉजी वुड चेंज इन द कमिंग few years, and that's how Microsoft also changed itself. Google, Alphabet, they changed their way of working based on the future demand. So that's where vision comes into picture. Your far-sightedness comes into picture, and that's what managers do. I hope you get this idea. इसी बेसिस पर समझ लो ये प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन तुमसे पूछा जा रहा है और तुमको सेंसिबली आंसर करना है ऐसे क्वेश्चंस का, राइट? ये बड़ा डेंजरस क्वेश्चन है मुझे लगा ये वाला. How many people worldwide will take a bite out of a birthday cake sometime today? So interesting question. एक बार तो लगे पता नहीं कैसे करें. Whenever you get a very surprising question, ask for time. बोलो सर, can I take 30 seconds to think on it? ऐसे बोलो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. It's a big question. I need to think. So ask them, sir, can I get 30 seconds? And they'll give you happily. फिर अपना दिमाग लगाओ, पेपर पेंसिल निकालो, सॉल्व करो, सोचो अच्छा ये इतना होगा. आज जो भी डे है, कितने लोग बॉर्न हुए होंगे आज, और जितने लोग बॉर्न हुए होंगे उसमें कितने लोग बर्थडे मनाते भी होंगे. ऐसा सोचना पड़ेगा. और वर्ल्ड वाइड पॉपुलेशन कितनी है, सेग्रीगेट करना पड़ेगा. वेरी ओल्ड पीपल, वेरी स्मॉल चाइल्ड या मिडिल एज या और सब. सो लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स टू बी केप्ट इन माइंड बिफोर समबडी कैन एक्चुअली से कि कितने लोग आज बर्थडे होंगे, है ना? So estimation, and that's why they're called guesstimation, because it's not an exact figure, it's more about your approach, my dear students, my dear friends, right?
सर आप इस क्वेश्चन को कैसे अप्रोच करोगे? ये क्वेश्चन
वैसे ही जैसे बताया मैंने तुमको, the same way ना. See, the point is I'll keep in a lot of parameters and probably I'll begin with the population of the world. So whatever 8 billion people around the world are there. Out of those 8 billion people, if you look at, around 50% of them should be poor, or even more than that. And if out of 50% are poor, chances are very high that even if on their birth date they would not celebrate, and they would not have enough money to buy a cake. Why? Because they don't have enough money to buy food for 2 times in a day. जो 2 टाइम खाना नहीं खा सकते, केक कैसे खाएगा, राइट? सो दैट वे यू नीड टू एस्टिमेट कि इतनी पॉपुलेशन है, उसमें से आधे लोग तो पुअर हैं, सो दे कैन नॉट इवन अफोर्ड केक्स, तो वो तो बर्थडे तो मनाएंगे नहीं, राइट? And now, out of 365 days, on average, every day कितना बर्थडे होगा एवरेज कर लो. मान लो 4 बिलियन लोग हैं, 4 बिलियन लोगों का बर्थडे है, तो एवरेज आउट कर लो भाई, किस महीने में ज्यादा बच्चे होते हैं, किस में, वो तो एग्जैक्टली बताना मुश्किल है, बताया नहीं, कैन एवरेज इट आउट बाय डिवाइडिंग बाय पर डे कितने लोगों का ऑन एवरेज बर्थडे होता होगा. And based on that per day, these many people have birthdays, you can now segregate them into age, different age groups. So different age groups में segregate कर दो उनको, right? बहुत छोटा है, बहुत old. जो 60 से ऊपर वाले लोग हैं उनमें बहुत कम लोग, 60 से ऊपर वाले में करीब 10% लोग बर्थडे मनाते हैं, 10 से 20%. बट यूथ वाले जो एज ग्रुप है, जो हमारा 15 से लेकर जो 30-35 तक ही, इस एज में बहुत लोग बर्थडे मनाते हैं. छोटे बच्चे का भी बर्थडे बनाते हैं कुछ लोग. सो ऐसे करके मैं एज वाइज चीजों को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर दूं कि इस एज ग्रुप में मोर नंबर ऑफ पीपल में वुड सेलिब्रेट बर्थडेज एंड देन यू कैन कम टू द नंबर ऑफ पीपल एंड देन द नंबर ऑफ केक्स. भाई एक दिन में इतने लोग अपना केक काटते हैं. सो द होल अप्रोच हैज टू बी लाइक दिस, राइट? ओके, सो जस्ट लुक एट द क्वेश्चन टाइप्स. नंबर ऑफ रोजेस सोल्ड ऑन वैलेंटाइंस डे. भाई ये तो बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है, वो भी कहाँ पर, मेरठ में. देख लो, इस पे रिलीजियस एंगल भी आ जाएगा, पॉलिटिकल एंगल भी आ जाएगा, काइंड ऑफ व्हेन यू डिस्कस कि lot of places may not allow it, the sellers to sell roses on that day maybe, right? But then that's different, of course. You can think of population, then youth population, and how broad-minded the place is. Based on that, how many would buy roses, how many would give it, all those stuff. ये सारे factors जितने लेकर आते हो ना, वो अपनी sensibility बढ़ती है. So that's what these guesstimate questions, right? So this was it for today, guys. I hope you understood the whole process and how to go about it. So I wish you all the best, and probably I expect that you'll start reading things from today onwards, reading magazines, novels, etc., so that you can do justice to all the hard work you've been doing so far and get the fruits of all the hard work as a job, or maybe a good B school or some bank jobs or some government jobs later, right? So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of the entire team at COMMPACT, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to sir for taking out time to speak with us and sharing valuable knowledge and experience of years. It was truly an honor to listen to you, sir. This session was insightful for all of us present here. COMMPACT will be back with yet another mesmerizing session for you all. So, keep an eye out on our social media handles, guys.
Thank you so much. All the best. Stay healthy, stay safe, guys. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.